Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Trevor. I run TJ Painting and Decorating with my son Ryan. We cover most of Hampshire and Surrey, carrying out traditional decorating, and also we've now got a workshop that features quite heavily in this video where we now carry out spraying of kitchens mainly, but MDF furniture, anything that really needs spraying we can do. If you've ever considered respraying your kitchen rather than replacing it because it's a cheaper option and it gives you a whole new look to your kitchen, then this is the video you need to be watching. If you've got any comments or remarks, please leave them below and I will do my best to answer them for you. And at the end of the video, I'll go through the colours that we used in this kitchen and what it costs to get the kitchen resprayed. So if that's something you're interested in, this is the video for you. Most people look at a kitchen like this and immediately think we need a new one. But what if the problem isn't the kitchen at all? What if it's just how it looks? Here's how this one looked when we first come to price it. Solid units, a good layout, actually nothing really broken. But the customer said it felt tired, and that is usually what pushes homeowners towards a big decision. And here's a real question you face. Do we rip it out or do we rescue what already works? One choice means builders, skips, dust, weeks of disruption, no kitchen, and the other means working with what you already have, but it needs to be done properly. After receiving our quote, the customer decided that respraying was what she wanted to do. So we popped into her house, took the doors off and put them in the van, got them to our workshop. Now, we do this not because it's easier for us, but it keeps the mess out of your home and also lets us work in a controlled environment. Now, this is a part that not very many people see, but I think it's quite important to show you. So, when the doors are sprayed in a controlled environment, we control the dust, we can control the temperature, and we can also control how we apply the paint. And also, when we leave with the doors, your home stays calm and your kitchen, most importantly, is still usable. Really, in the workshop is really where the transformation takes place. As you can see, we're numbering the doors so we know exactly where they go back on when we get back to your home. That's quite important. And this is probably the messiest bit. Kitchens do get really grimy and dirty, so it's really important that we degrease them well, give them a really good clean over with white spirit, and like you can see, there's quite a lot of build up of grease there. It does take quite a bit, but like I say, it's essential that we get it off because otherwise nothing is going to really stick to the paint surface. You can see that's quite stubborn, but it does come off, and we do give it a really good clean and a wipe over just to ensure that, like I say, the surface is kept really clean. Degreasing really is the bit nobody ever seems to ask about because it's not very glamorous, I suppose, but as I said, kitchens are full of grease even though they do look clean, and paint will only stick to what it can get a grip on. So every door is degreased thoroughly, not quickly or rushed, but a proper job of getting all the grease off. If you skip this stage, it looks fine at first, but it will fail over a period of time. This is one of the main reasons people think that respraying kitchens doesn't last. It's not the paint they choose, it's basically down to how thorough the surfaces are prepped. Good preparation leads to a good respray job, and that is essentially what you need to do, just really thorough preparation. Well, that's all the doors stacked up after we've done the degreasing, so we're now on to the next stage. After the degreasing, everything is sanded back. Now, this not only makes it smooth, but it also creates a great key so that the paint has something to grip hold of. This is, again, not the most glamorous parts of doing the spraying, but no one shows you how this is achieved in finished photographs. But it's what separates something that looks nice from something that still looks nice 5 years later. And this is where most of the time is spent, not spraying, but as I said, preparing the doors for a nice finish so that they will last for years to come. This does take up, again, a lot of our time, but it's well worth it in the end. After dusting all the surfaces, we then use a dusting brush to get rid of most of the dust on the surface, followed by a tack cloth, which is a sticky cloth to get rid of the rest of the dust on the doors. Once all the doors are tacked off and ready to spray, we then start preparing for a priming coat, which is an adhesion coat, which helps the paint bond to the door. This is us just putting the paint through the machine, so you can see it gets a bit thicker before we start actually going into the spray booth and using our heated hose, which heats the paint to a minimum of 40 degrees, so it goes on nice and smooth and helps with the drying and the adhesion to the doors. It's just a matter really then of applying these priming coats to all the door surfaces. As a little added extra on this job, we had to repair a section of the plinth where a beaten wood appliance had been taken away and replaced with a cupboard. So it got us the opportunity to show you our carpentry skills and also the way we repaired the plinth before we sprayed it. So this is after the repair. And I think wasn't a bad repair at all. Customer was pleased with it anyway, so that was the main thing. While the doors were drying in our drying room, we returned to site, and this is where everything ties together. If the doors and frames don't match perfectly, they'll always catch your eye, and we never rush this stage. We always take our time and make sure this is done really, really well. However, we did return to one problem. Some floor tiles have been laid, and this is Ryan cutting the plinth to the new floor height. I think you agree, that kitchen was transformed. It took a tired old kitchen with those ceramic doorknobs. We changed them over. The customer bought the handles and we put them on when we were spraying, filled the old holes and fitted the new handles, which transformed that kitchen, I think. As well as the change of colour. The two-tone, I think, worked really well. Talking of which, the top half of the kitchen units were Farrow & Ball Wimborne white, and the bottom cabinets were actually Little and Green clay. And we're working a lot with Little and Green at the moment. We're doing a lot of their colours, which seem more and more popular. And the good thing is, it's a really nice product to work with too, which makes our job a little bit easier. However, now moving on to the important bit, how much did all this work cost? Well, including the VAT, we charged £2,610, which I think you'll agree is far cheaper than a new kitchen, and you don't have the mess in your home, you don't have the inconvenience of being out without your kitchen for weeks on end. In fact, we've worked for a customer before that had a teenage son, I think he's 16, 17, and he didn't want us to put the doors back on. He said because it's so easy for him to come down in the morning, see what was in the cupboards, and he could just pick stuff out. Not the ideal solution. It's a good way of getting a new look for very affordable money. It's all very well getting your kitchen transformed, but one of the important questions you need to ask yourself is, when you're about to get work done, do you need a quote or an estimate? I help answer that question in this next video.